Obviously we have to understand the power of social media, and we have seen that in all walks of life. We have seen that in the political process. President Barack, the former president, at this point, he benefited from social media. Our current president, he benefited from social media. Social media permeates our society at its core. Facebook obviously being the largest social media tool right now, but there are others, and Instagram, and Pinterest, and the list goes on and on. But understanding that we started networking back in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and we just did not have that power. We had the power of one-to-one, the power of our initial center of influence, and our family and friends, their center of influence. But with the social media, it just takes it to a different level. Currently I have 5,000 people on Facebook. I do a post, and immediately, thousands of people have had access to my message. And, if they were to repost that message, all of a sudden, from our influence, or thought, or actions, whatever, it has access to millions of people, and that's the power of social media. And if we're stuck, in the pre social media era, we got to understand that we have to jump into and benefit from, if we're going to expand our businesses and our centers of influence.
Like, why are you still hungry?
You know what? There's a lot of things to do, Demetrius. I tell you, a lot of things to do, a lot of places to go, and if we're going to influence and leave our mark, our legacies, we have to have access to expanding our wealth, if you will. And look at what Bill Gates doing, Mark Zuckerberg, and all the wealthy people out there. They're always seeking more income because it gives them more influence. And with that influence come the power to change lives. And that's what I see for myself. The more you leverage time and effort, and the more you increase your wealth creation activities, the more you can help others, the more you can influence lives.
Wow. Okay, so Joe is still hungry.
Absolutely.
That's really good, because I had this. We had on my podcast, Inner Success Radio podcast. We had multi-million-dollar earner. His name is Matt Aitchison, and Matt Aitchison, he said this quote, and I've been telling it to everybody since it's worded so perfectly. He said, "If your first version is your best version, you released it too late."
I love it.
Like, what is there's a lot of entrepreneurs that are waiting to get started, right? They're like, no, but it's got to be perfect, right? What message would you share with those type of people? Like, just, like, what would you say to them?
I say, just do something, and then try to make it better. In other words, your first production, your first activity does not have to be your best. There's always room for improvement. So you got to understand that it's a process of creation and then recreation. And that's how I look at, my activities. That's how I model activity of others. You got to do something, get it done, and then look to improve it. If you look at trying to put out the best product, the best version, then you know what? You're going to miss it. You're going to miss the power of activity. Activity, you create something, and then you look to make it better. Always.
That's really
good. I want
to
share something, Demetrius, before you continue. I just got off reading a book by a gentleman by the name of Grant Cardone. And he has a great series centered around 10X, multiplying your efforts. And that's what I highly recommend to our audience here, is to, magnify yourself. Look at putting on, as my very good friend, co-founder of the Billionaire Mastermind, Dr. Ali Yassin, Dr. Go Rich Mind, that's what he suggests, that extra zero. That's what we all seek. And Grant Cardone sort of packages it greatly in his series called 10X, how to multiply your efforts to the next level.
Man, that's so crazy. About 3 interviews ago, I interviewed this gentleman named Dwight Henry, major social media phenom. I mean, he has 4 million followers. This guy he has 4 million here, 2 million here, 1 million here. And do you know that he actually told me and taught me about the same thing you just said, about that 10 times Grant Cardone? That is really, we know we're going to the next level. So now let's keep it on books. What book are you currently reading right now?
Currently reading the all-time bestseller,